Hey there guys, welcome back to another episode of Spartan Crew Gaming, and today we are talking about Middle-earth, Shadow of War, once again. Let's jump into it. So there was a huge live stream yesterday in which a bunch of stuff happened, lots of gameplay was shown, which I will be showing in the background, and just a lot of cool stuff was just released, I guess. A lot of stuff that we saw in the gameplay reveal, our gameplay live stream, was just really intriguing, so we're going to talk about those things, and yeah, without further ado, let's just talk about it. So first off, we're going to talk about them Graugs. Graugs, of course, those big siege beasts that have the stuff on the back of their backs and they can shoot stuff at you. They're pretty cool, but they can actually fight each other once they get up on the walls, and the fighting looked really epic. They are like fighting each other, and the animations, the way they've animated Graug versus Graug fighting, it looks so much more polished, much cooler, just like with the Orcs fighting each other. They look much more polished, the executions look cooler. Very excited. It was just cool to see what the Graugs were doing. Also, with this one Graug was just hitting the wall, trying to break it down, and then of course we just climbed on him and climbed over the wall and attacked the inside of the fort. Still very cool. Also, we got to see spiders in these gameplay walkthroughs, but they were very not noticeable because they are a lot smaller than I thought they would be. Now, of course, they're not house spiders, but they aren't big spiders either. They're not mountable for sure. They're much smaller. They spread chaos and poison, and they're pretty scary. So also, we can bring drakes to battle just like in the last one, but you actually can have two drakes in like the same area, which is really cool. So if you have a beastmaster run fortress and there's bait there for a drake, you can shoot that bait, call in a drake, dominate him, and then you can shoot your other bait you have in the region, call in another drake, and they can fight each other. Really cool. I don't know if you can do that during a siege assault, but it's very interesting to see how many drakes you could actually have in one area. I think in the Beast trailer we saw like at least 2 or 3 flying in one area once, so that's pretty crazy. I cannot wait to encounter these dragons or drakes. The drakes are basically like baby dragons, so they're just smaller dragons, not fully grown, but very interesting, very cool to see. Let's kind of just go over what we saw with the Orcs, the War Chiefs, and some other stuff. So people were asking, are there different difficulty modes? Of course, we've gone over this, easy, medium, and hard. But what I did notice in this gameplay live stream, it was pretty, not overly difficult. I mean, the girl did almost die like 3 times, but still, she was a really good player. She played like 1,000 hours of the first game, and she's played 400 hours of Shadow of War. So the person doing this walkthrough for us in this live stream definitely knew what they were doing. They were no noob. And I think they had the game on normal, so I will definitely be playing this game on hard for sure, because I really want to challenge out of it. I've never played a Dark Souls game, and I'm not like, oh my goodness, this game has to be the hardest thing in the world, but I definitely want it to be a challenge, because I was playing Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor yesterday, recording an episode, and like, I was just getting on streaks, and I was just taking these guys down, and some of these captains, they aren't even a challenge. I'm like, dude, I need to fight you, and like, they can't even, and I'm just started Shadow of Mordor again, and I've only upgraded a few of my skills, and I'm already like tearing them apart, and I'm like, what? This is crazy. So the game definitely needs to definitely needs to be harder, so I'm glad there is a hard mode. People were asking, does time move in one region, or does it move in all regions? So in the last game when you died, time moved forward. Time generally only moves in your region, so like a lot of the stuff happening in your region, the missions will advance there, but in other regions, if you go back to them, some of the overlords will, not overlords, but just war chiefs, overlords, captains, the orcs in those regions will level up because you were gone, but like some of the missions won't pass away. They'll actually be there for you to go back to, which I kind of understand. That's a really like difficult thing to deal with, so many regions in the game. I think maybe if the entire world was open and there wasn't as many regions, that would fix the problem. I don't know. The Nemesis system is very difficult, and I'm sure it's a nightmare to code, so I understand why they might have time only moving in one region and then slightly moving in the others. So, and the orcs in those other regions will recognize like, oh wow, he's been gone for a while. It's just the missions won't progress forward, but they will level up somewhat. So, very interesting, very cool way, I guess, to move the world forward. Also, people were asking, what is the pre-order bonus that the Sword of Dominion does? So the Sword of Dominion actually adds a level to the orcs you brand. So every time you brand an orc and put him to your side, he actually gains a level because you have the Sword of Dominion. So it's kind of just a little bit of a boost. I don't think it sounds too OP, but that means if you had like a level 24 orc and he was level 25, then that would be really cool. You can just get him up at one level and kind of give him some more power, so it makes your orcs a little more, I guess, scary to deal with. Yeah, so that was really cool. There's some other stuff. So what types of elements can the Siege Beasts throw? The Siege Beasts can throw Cursed, which causes terror amongst the enemy. Also, Cursed affects Talion, as he cannot use his Wraith abilities when he's fighting cursed enemies. Very interested in how that works and how difficult that's going to make some fights. Fire, of course, can be thrown, just good for killing people and hitting forts. And then poison, of course, can be thrown, which is good just for slowly, I guess, killing people and hurting orcs who are, vulnerable to poison. Also, you can betray your own war chiefs and captains, I guess. So if you just start slashing at them and killing them, they will be like, yo, they'll retaliate. So very cool. See more character. Also, your captains can betray you. They'll leave your army, maybe even try to kill you. Very cool. There is AoE, friendly fire, so you can kill your own followers on accident. So be careful when you are, throwing rocks and fire from your dragon or from your Graug. People were asking, can allied war chiefs level up? Of course they do. They can level up by fighting in the fighting pits, by being sent on missions, training orders, all kinds of stuff. So basically, some of the stuff we already covered in other videos were just being answered. Also, there can be up to 6 war chiefs at an enemy fort, so this really intrigued me. In this gameplay live stream, we only saw 4 war chiefs, and it was a pretty big fort. Now with 6 war chiefs, the fort will even get bigger, because every war chief brings more to the fort, makes the fort even bigger, and brings more of a more attributes to it. So like I noticed in the live stream when they were looking at the fort, like the Overlord, he had the ability to give the fort stone walls. So if there are 6 war chiefs and each of them have a cool ability they can add to the fort defenses, very interesting, very cool, and I cannot wait to see what 6 war chiefs looks like and how big of a fort that's going to be. And I can't wait to defend and attack a fort with 6 war chiefs either by my side or going against, because it's just going to be a huge battle. And yeah, it's very cool. Also, they did not want to show us too much of the open world in this gameplay reveal. They're like, hey, we need to stay near the fortress. So I have a feeling we're going to be seeing the open world at E3 a little more. I'm very interested. Also, we can do our upgrade assault stuff, which gives us all our siege beasts and our sappers and stuff. You saw that in the gameplay live stream. Also, I'm going to link the gameplay live stream to you. There's a guy that always uploads them an hour after they're up, or a few hours after they're up. I'll link the full live stream so you guys can watch that uninterrupted by my voice. But nonetheless, very cool. Also, there's some new power in the grog barrels. So you can shoot some grog barrels, and if you have a certain elemental, I think, upgrade on your arrow, it can make it Bellfire, which is a combination of fire and poison. And that's really cool. Also, if you die while fighting an Overlord, of course, the time moves forward, he dies, but there's also this thing called a mission called Unfinished Business, where you can actually just go straight back up to the Overlord and fight him instead of having to siege, which is kind of nice. I kind of find that cool. However, if time passes too long, the mission will pass away, and then you have to siege the fort all over again. Also, what was really cool and I noticed is the Overlords would hide behind their throne if they retreated. And you can't get them back there, and you kind of fail the assault. So very interesting, very cool that they actually hide behind their throne. Overall, I really loved this live stream. We got to see a lot of cool new orcs. Like this painted orc looked awesome. There's orcs with maggots in their skin. Couldn't really see the maggots, but you could see the holes where the maggots were. Very interesting. Most of the time, though, I was really intrigued by this live stream. I thought the graphics looked even better, especially on Talion in the open world, and the lighting and the structures. Everything looks really good. I feel like the orcs just need a tad more work, but I think the reason that they might not look as good is just because there are so many orcs on screen. Maybe they're just lower poly or lower textures on the orcs, right? So that we can have more of them on screen. Hopefully, on highest settings, or maybe by release, the orcs will look a little better. Of course, there was a few glitches in this live stream. They said this is, not the finished build, so the game still does need work. But nonetheless, guys, I was super happy with it. Very fun to watch. Very cool to see the fort. I cannot wait to see just the open world and the Nemesis system. The orcs were interrupting each other trying to talk to Talion. They're like, hey, wait, let me talk to him. And it was just hilarious. He didn't exactly say that, but this one orc just buds in while this other orc's giving you a conversation, ridiculing you, and the other orc's like, well, no, it's my turn now. And it's just hilarious. The character that the orcs have now is so much more, and it's very exciting. Also, the fights look really cool. Talion can slide. The fights inside the the throne room look pretty awesome. Some people were saying they were boring. Not boring, but they just needed work from the articles. That's what some people were saying who got to play the game. Hopefully, they will add, more dynamic fun to the throne rooms. The one we saw in these live streams looked pretty hard. Of course, we've only seen a lot of fire throne rooms with a lot of fire-based attacks, so I'm interested to see what other kind of throne rooms we will see. Of course, a few more animations needed worked in this trailer, but overall, this looked like a really great live stream. Not trailer, I said trailer. But nonetheless, guys, I just want to say thanks for watching. Sorry if this video was a little more, I guess, scatterbrained, but there's just so much news to cover and a lot to talk about in it. And sorry if it's a longer episode, but thank you for watching all the way through it. You guys have like destroyed my last video. It's like up to 26 or 27,000 views or 25, around there. That's a lot of views for me at least, and I just want to say a big thanks to you guys because you're awesome. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a blessed week, and I will see you in the next one.